Hello and welcome to episode 29 of our Timberborn Update 7 Emberpelts playthrough here in cycle 35, day 34. We got 2.4 days left in the drought. Last time, we did a little bit of experimentation with our cliffside apartment ideas, and I've gotten some clarification on how some of this stuff works, and a couple of ideas from you guys in the comments as well. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But we also had a little bit of a problem last time with some bad water overflowing into this reservoir here. So, you'll notice, if we take a look at the sluices, it is going to say there's 1% contamination here, which, not good. But, you know, it could be worse. It's going to dilute over time, and we're just going to kind of have to let it be what it's going to be. I think one of the easiest ways to do it is going to be to just tell this to close above contamination of 2%. So I can come down here and be put into this set of waterways. So on and so forth. So, yeah, 1% contamination is not going to really, you know, cause any problems. It's just going to be annoying to me on a fundamental level, but, you know, what else is new? I guess we should probably start over here, taking a look at our little weir we built. So, you guys have correctly pointed out that while we do have a lot of edges here, it just kind of drops off after that, and there's not really much else that is going to help ensure the safe and secure flow of water, or bad water as it stands. So what we're going to need to do is kind of expand this out by you know, creating a little, I don't know what the correct term would be for it, but just kind of interlocking individual pieces here as best as we can to just constantly have edges for the bad water to flow off of. And it's also kind of important to remember that we do have the ability to... oh, I didn't even put anything in the middle there, did I? Oh, man. See, the new overhang stuff with Update 7 is really cool, but it also causes a lot of problems because, well, for me at least, I don't know, you might be better at this, I'm so used to having a complete inability for water, or not water, wow. Starting off this episode with a bang, sure. I'm so used to not being able to actually put dirt in place unless it has something underneath it. So it ends up causing issues when you have empty space underneath whatever you're doing. And hopefully I'm not going to have to worry about that. So that ought to give you a little bit more context on what I'm talking about here. Let's take that out, that out, that out, that out. I'm trying to stagger this so it's just continuously taken care of. And I guess I'd probably have to pause the game to make that happen. That goes all the way out to here. I guess we probably don't need to worry about it. I don't want to make incredibly stupid mistakes if I can help it. So get that taken care of there. That goes there. That goes there. See, even then I just missed a thing. But the idea with this is that it constantly creates additional edges, no matter what the height of this thing is, so that you don't end up accidentally backing things up because you didn't have enough space off to the side. So I guess it might technically be a little overkill, but I really don't want to run into a lot of easily preventable problems if I can help it. So, building this is going to be kind of annoying, but I think we're going to be able to do it relatively easily. If I just pop that in like so, they should be able to reach all of these with the exception of this piece here, which I guess we probably don't need. Should be okay. Should be okay. We just have to be able to get the bots up here, which they should be able to do pretty simply. And that's going to be that. They can work on that. We have no need for this anymore, so that can go away. Everything should be just fine. Note that this is still very full here. There's not really anything I can do about that at this point except fix this bit and see if that goes down. But a lot of you continue to insist that this is a problem here, and that's why it's backing up. I don't know. It seems like it's okay, I guess. you know, knowing what I know now, I would have made this 2 blocks wide instead of 1. But it hasn't really been a tremendous problem yet. I guess the big test will be as soon as we have a bad tide that we'll have stuff coming out through this way. And then that's gonna be a whole different can of worms. Well, they've got stuff to do here, putting all this dirt in, and we definitely have enough dirt stored up, so that should be totally fine. This is still probably 1%, yeah. But now we're putting all that through here, and I guess it's okay. I guess things will be fine, and we can just keep on moving on. We take a look at our well-being, and things are really, really good. We just don't have the tribute to ingenuity, we don't have the wonder of fire, and I guess the detailers still need to get a little bit more stuff popped onto these beavers. So that's one of those things that will come in time. We'll get everything fixed up. And then that brings us to our cliffside apartments. So I figured I would acknowledge a lot of the comments you guys made with the ideas that you put forth. Just some highlights. I'll try to put a couple images on the screen here if I remember, hopefully. There's a, I guess like a actually pretty architecturally, historically significant thing called Habitat 67 up in Canada. There's, of course, cliff dwellings and favelas, I believe in Brazil is what that would have been from. But a lot of really cool ideas for interlocking smaller buildings, smaller pieces of buildings that are just kind of built on top of each other and connect in various ways. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to emulate much of that, but we can certainly attempt to do something a little bit better. And I did get clarification from about how the sky bridges and all that are meant to interact with the buildings. And I think what had happened was I tried to use the sky bridge entrance, this little archway, as a way to get into the side of the Triple Lodge building, when in actuality it seems the sky bridge entrance is only designed to interface with the external path network. So that's why that works here. But it doesn't interface with balconies. It only interfaces, the normal sides of the skybridge segments interface with the buildings, but this specific archway does not interface with the buildings. It only interfaces with the path network. So, now that we know that, maybe we can, make this not look quite as ridiculous, but that also gives me options to, for example, come in over here with some overhang pieces, and do like one of these numbers, and then do our 3x2s, and then on top of that, we can come in. We have these tenement lodges that are practically begging to be used for this exact purpose. So if we put our, put our balconies right here, that would, in theory, assuming that I am interpreting this correctly, well, it's not going to interface with the Skybridge bridge because the Skybridge bridge is a bridge, and it's not Skybridge segments because it's a bridge made of Skybridge segments to connect to other Skybridges. So, yeah, now I've confused myself. But this will need to be removed and replaced with normal stuff to get it to actually connect to all this. But it should also, because these buildings are connected to each other, unless I missed something, which is possible and honestly very likely, they should connect to each other through the just abutment of building segments. So I guess we'll see what happens. If this tenement building gets built, which they, I guess, don't technically have access to right now, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's hard. it's hard for me to figure out this stuff. But if they build this, and without it having a direct connection to the entrance with a path, this number still goes up on the amount of free beds, then we know that it still does interface with the side of other buildings. So I guess we'll see what happens here in a little bit. I do think this is really ugly, how this is set up right now. So we're going to have to do something regardless and take away these Skybridge bridges. Instead, just have bridges to the Skybridge, but not Skybridge bridges connecting to Skybridge bridges, which are connecting to Skybridges that we're using as bridges to get into the buildings. So we'll see how long it takes them to do that. We'll come back in a little bit. I want to see how we're going with... Oh, they finished. All right. And the height of the liquid itself has not changed. So, I don't know. It's also very possible that I have continued to do this incorrectly. That must never, ever be ruled out. Never, ever, ever ruled out. So I suppose we'll need to figure something else out here. I guess probably the easiest thing to do... oh, you know what? I can use a tunnel to go underneath this. I'm going to blast a channel straight through here. That will hopefully increase the flow rate and then not back up our aqueduct as much. Another thing is we do have our clean water flowing through here, spilling very nicely into our main reservoir. This should be filling up probably pretty quickly. Things looking nice here. We haven't really made the rest of the map green, although we have tried to do something in that regard. There's other opportunities. And then, of course, this area as well, been more or less completely abandoned. I do not know what to do over here. I am very, very interested to see if we end up getting a bad tide this next cycle, what that ends up looking like. Okay, so, as my theory suggested, we have 20 more free beds. And this holds 18 beavers, so it works. Now, what we get to do is we remove this. Remove this. I want this to become simplified. So what that's going to mean is that we have to take this mess out. Come on. Get this out of here. I'm going to try... Oh, we have silly billies. I'm going to try to... Operative term being try... try to get this connected here to the ladder, which if we do a couple of triples, we should be able to get into that. I think the bottom one will also work. So if I did a double there, yeah, so that'll connect to that, which should in theory connect to the rest of the network here. And that does look substantially better. Yeah, it looks like that's what that accomplished. So now this can go away because I think we can also come in with one of these guys and get that connected through the bottom. If that works, then that's going to be cool. If not, then, you know, it's not going to be that hard to connect this, but... Just looking for ways to make this look a little bit less ridiculous. Yeah, okay, it looks like that has been connected. Wait. No, I lied. Well, the game lied to me on its own behalf. Okay. So, new idea. We're going to have a ladder coming out of the sky bridges, or we just have to build something else interfacing with this. I'm not exactly sure, but now this connects over here. Even if it's not being able to be used for, you know, beavers to live in. Gives us opportunities to get a little bit closer. If these are going to be connected, I can still put another one of these next to all this mess. So if I do a 2x1 overhang, then I come in with another one of these double vertical lodges here. Then, oh, okay. Well, I turned it around the wrong way, so that might actually not connect very nicely. Let's come on. Let's get this oriented this way. So that way, the entrance actually connects to the balcony here on the Skybridge Bridge, but the Skybridge Bridge is a bridge and is not a Skybridge segment, so it cannot connect to the doorway because it's, yeah, anyway. But the sides of these buildings should connect just fine. It looks like that is what has happened. And I believe, depending on how we want to do this, if I have... Oh, here's an idea. Here's an idea. I use a Skybridge segment to skybridge the Skybridge into the bridge that is on top of the Skybridge. And then, yeah, okay, exactly. That just makes that super, super easy. If I put this in the back here, which should still give me that doorway. Yep. Then I can have my Skybridge stairs oriented like this. And then, depending on how I want to put stuff up here, I could either take this roofing piece off, and then I can put in this guy, which should go into the side of the... Yeah, okay, we're having a good time now. Look at this. See, okay, this is what this was always meant to be. Something like this. And then, platform here. I guess I probably, I do need the sky bridge entrance to interface with non-housing items. But that's connected there. Oh, we're looking good. I also do need to start... Well, you know, there's no rule that says we have to reduce the population. We have so much food, we might as well just keep increasing it. But I was kind of thinking that we should be doing some other stuff here. So, I guess they're just kind of walking out here and they see that there's nothing to do. This is just a regular skybridge bridge, which we no longer need to have because all of these are connected. So, this is going to cause an issue here. But what we're going to do is remove that. Remove that, remove that, remove that, and now this is all quite nicely connected here without the ugly. And we got ladders, which should just, I think, directly connect here, unless I'm going to have to put in... No, I'm going to have to put a skybridge entrance there. And then that'll connect to that ladder there. And then this will end up having to put a... I'll just put this back with a metal platform. We're trying to accomplish the same thing here. Okay, that's a lot cleaner. That is a lot cleaner. What's this? Metal blocks, 7 of those. Okay, we got 3,100. I'm not going to worry about that. Not going to worry about that. If this gets built and then this is still inaccessible, then we know we've made some sort of mistake here. But I like the little stairs in the back here. Okay, good. That solved problems. This looks so much better like this. It looks astonishingly better. And I don't think there's really much of anything I can put exactly here, but we have made a substantial contribution to the aesthetic sensibilities of the area. And if I put a vertical lodge here, go ahead and unlock that. That'll fill this out a little bit. And then, depending on how we want to get elsewhere up here, we might be able to put another rooftop terrace or something. But we don't need to have this with the levees and stuff on the inside, but I kind of don't want to mess with that. I'm going to put in here. Yeah, see, that should still connect to the side, no problems. Give us an opportunity to also come up this way with the stuff like the skybridge stairs. I love this mechanic. This is so cool. Oh, it's just amazing, like the amount of stuff that you can just do with this. So if I put that there and I put a ladder on top, okay, that's not going to work. But this will allow me to have external access that I can then attach to normal ladders to come up the cliffside here. And then that can bring me up to something like, say, perhaps a frog statue. But I want him to be flipped facing... There we go. So we can look out over the farm complex here. So that will give me an opportunity to put a path this way. And that should connect pretty nicely. Should. And then I think I can also put in a vertical lodge right like so. Look at this. Look at... See, now this is starting to look a little bit more aesthetically appealing compared to the mess we had before. And our numbers of beavers are rapidly increasing, which I guess is not a bad thing. We do need to keep an eye on stuff. So this says it's too far from builders. Oh, because they can't build from inside the building? Huh. Alright, well, here's how we're going to solve that problem. I guess I'm going to have to put in a tube-way bridge here. If I put it here, they can build pretty much all of this. So we'll do that. Get that connected. They'll build from above because that is a wonderful thing that certainly is not exploiting any game mechanics whatsoever. And that should be fine. Let's see. We haven't messed with the Skybridge two-way connection, which we probably are going to want to do, but I want to have this come up and over stuff, if I can see how this actually looks. See, this says it's connected. If I don't put it over this part. If I put it on top of this, then that actually works. So, if I put housing on top of this, then it doesn't want to play nice, but if I put it on top of here, then it does. And the same thing, obviously, that can't get built there. This does work here. So if I were to put that there, would that still be in line, I guess? The bigger question is, what's going to be the easiest way for me to get other stuff attached to this? So if I were to do something like this, actually would still fit. Put that there, and then on top of a metal platform, which actually I don't need to do. I can just put one of these here. And I can rotate this to give other access into our complex. Okay. 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 I'm seeing what we're doing here. Very, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, put that guy in there, and then I have to go into this part for the two-way connection. Yeah, that will be connected there. And then all I gotta do is just two-way. Two-way the two-way until the two-way is two-wayed. This will, of course, require some other stuff here. Okay, so that would be on a triple. Assuming I can actually connect to this. Yes, and I can. Okay, but... Oh, come on. If I do a two-way bridge, then that connects to that. If I do a shorter one, then what I can do is I can just have these go like that. And that connects into the whole thing with the two ways. Is it ugly? Yeah. Is it cool? Also, yeah. Look at this. Look at this. One more piece, and then all these guys will have nice, easy integrated access, and that is pretty cool. So now we can do a little bit, assuming they can reach this stuff, we can do a little bit of aesthetic enhancement. We have these half roof pieces. Something like this. It says they can't reach it. We'll make sure all this stuff is reachable, but we have the opportunity to, you know... Oh, wait. How'd they reach that? Is it because the stairs are next to it? Okay, we'll get it all figured out. We want to make sure all of these beavers have access to the aesthetic improvements brought on by these pieces, and it looks like they probably do. But, you know, it does just kind of soften the grid appearance a little bit when you have the slopes in place. And it can look pretty neat. Also, you know, blocks windows, so you don't want to do too much of that. I'm trying to think. Is there something else I want to do with this? Yeah, just like strategically located things like these braziers and everything, I think have an opportunity to be pretty helpful in terms of the well-being bonuses and all that. So, you know, doesn't look too shabby. Doesn't look too shabby at all. And we got a frog statue. So I'm going to consider that to be, for right now at least, a pretty good success. And I want to know why we have a homeless beaver. It shouldn't be a thing. Well, 29-day drought is 29-day drought, so should be okay. We have actually a pretty nice amount of water in here. I guess I probably should work on raising this capacity a little bit now that we've kind of solved our flooding problems. But remember at the beginning of the episode when this had 1% contamination? Now it has 0%, even if it's not technically absolutely 0. I still think that's an improvement. We should have these ready to detonate now, which we will go ahead and do. That'll take us to there. That'll take us to there. So that adds a lot more edges for the purpose of draining this. And that should help us out. Why is this flooding through here? That's just the surge backup happening. Okay, well that'll go away soon enough. Yeah, we can see it is going down. It's going down a lot, actually. How much further is that going to go down? The big question is, how is this affecting this mess here? And it doesn't seem like it is affecting it at all. And at least a couple of you pointed out that when we have a bad tide come through this, it's really going to cause problems. But I thought we had kind of avoided that. I guess it's okay. Probably. Maybe. So if we get rid of this piece here, which I don't think they can reach. They shouldn't be able to. If I put in a platform here, they probably can not reach that. Okay. So if I put a staircase in ladder form over here, then they should be able to get into this. Remove this piece of dynamite, we get a couple extra edges on the top level, which is why I would be doing that. Hopefully. Hopefully that's what they'll get taken care of. I guess we have all this stuff over here that we kind of continually ignore, which is not ideal. We probably don't need to have this giant thing of fuel over here anymore, but there's also not really that compelling of a reason to get rid of it. I don't know, I'm pretty happy with this, honestly. I think this looks pretty cool. We need to put in a two-way bridge so they can build those roofing pieces again, but not going to be that big of a deal. That's a quick thing to do. I'm sure we could expand this a little more if we really wanted to, but I want to know why we have a homeless beaver. Who is homeless? Probably easiest to find by looking for the one that has the lowest well-being, but it doesn't let me sort. Okay. Well, that's a child. Well-being 23. Oh, I guess I could also just look at the column that has where they live. So who doesn't have an entry there? It's not one of the beaver children. I'm probably going to miss it too, because, you know, that's how that goes. I am... Aha! Now how did you get silly billied there? Okay, where are you? I can't see you. I don't even see the icon for stranded, so I can't tell. If we peel this back, where... Aha! Oh, how did you end up behind that? How did you end up behind that? Okay. Is it worth putting in a skybridge entrance here? If they can actually build this, then, you know, he could just get back in like that. Let's see what happens. Okay, I think we've solved our problem. So as soon as he wakes up, he can go back in and do whatever. But now we have this little kind of hidey hole back here. Or we can use that as an opportunity. Look at all the space back here. Okay. Alright, hold on. Yeah, this is going to actually be a convenient thing for us here. Because now we've identified an opportunity to get connected up to a little bit more of the upper level. Hey, you know what we can put up here? We can put in a rooftop terrace. That is the perfect thing to go up here. And I would have never known that was an option. Very cool. Why does it say it's not connected? Peel this back again. Oh. That would be why. We do have to connect it at the bottom. There we go. Alright. Neat. Very, very cool. Let's get this out of here. Get that out of there, get that out of there. And now we have a little bit of a chance up here to put in a couple more well-being items. Some scratchers. Why not? Anything else small that will fit up here? Not really. Okay, scratcher time it is. Everybody gets a scratcher. Not too shabby. We also are going to want to put monuments probably in the vicinity of this, which I guess, depending on tribute to ingenuity, would actually make a whole lot of sense to put it here because we do have access to power. And hey, guess what? If I unlock this guy and I pop this here, make it sure it's turned around the correct way, that fits perfectly. And it would cover all of these beavers. You know, not these guys, but that is a problem for another time. Definitely not the worst thing I could be putting here. And we know that's going to be helpful. These are still those bots that are... Yeah, okay. That's a choice that was made. Let's detonate that. That gives us access to a few more edges. So, I mean, I'm not expecting the water level to go down, but I am hopeful that it would allow us to have a little bit smoother flow when we have more stuff upstream. We are making almost 20,000 HP with this, so if, for example, it was deemed necessary to remove all of these right here and then just increase the height so we didn't have flooding problems, we could probably do that. I'd like to avoid that, if at all possible, but we will see what happens. Still plenty of stuff coming out this way, and that's ugly, but, you know, it's fine. How are we looking here? Got all the pieces, they just have to finish the labor. Okay. That does take a certain amount of time to do. I'm sure there's other stuff we can put up here that's going to make it look a little bit nicer, and then we could probably redesign most of this to avoid having to have all of these skybridge ladders and stuff everywhere. But I think for the most part, we're looking really good. Really good, no complaints. Food and water storage probably should be a little bit of a higher priority. I mean, food, they have the access to the tubeways, they can get over here. But underground water storage actually seems like a really smart thing for us to put up here. And if I were to do that, they should be able to build this. Not really many issues here. I take this down, I take this up. I should be able to put a underground tank and underground tank right here, and that would give them nice, easy access to some drinking water. So in fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and click to put that in. Just, you know, plain old water, give us a little bit more storage as well as our population continues to expand. Well-being of 65 is looking good. Very cool, very cool. I guess on top of this staircase, assuming they can reach it, would be a good place to put a couple more decorations. Beaver statues aren't really existing over here, so if I put that guy there, that's going to cover almost all the beavers in this area, with the exception of these guys, which I could very easily, assuming this is accessible, pop one of these guys here. And I could put a beaver bust here, and a beaver statue there. And they can build that from inside the tubeway. No problems whatsoever. Beaver bust opportunities, that's too far away. Over here, they could probably actually reach it. Right on top of this. You know, just standard decorations, you know, on the side of somebody's house, they definitely have one of these sitting there. It's totally normal. That's being built in nicely. Go ahead and just say goodbye to that. Well-being of 67, because we have this guy. Very cool. Very cool indeed. Now I just have to figure out a way to pop one of those guys over here. And I do have a liquid fuel engine that is only, you know, using 80% of its power. But remember, the tribute to ingenuity requires 600, so it's going to basically need its own power source at all times. We can run it at a lower speed, I guess, with a smaller engine. But what's the fun in that, right? We got this little 1x1 roof piece is not really Not really the best spot for this. Can I get away with some shenanigans here? I would like to see if it's possible. Okay, that's not going to work. Never mind. It was a flawed idea. Flawed idea to begin with. But I have some sort of power here. Okay. The small engine that is being exactly utilized. Not really an ideal scenario. But what I can do is I can take a regular engine like this, or I take a fuel engine like this, just right on top of that, and then I put a tribute to ingenuity, I guess facing this way, and the other one's facing this way. They're not really lined up, but I don't think that matters. And I can take our wonderful, fantastic, tiny two-way station and just butt it up right against the entrance of this engine, and that should solve all those problems. Very, very simply, not necessarily elegantly, but definitely simply, which I think is an admirable thing for us to be getting into. I'm going to turn this press on, and I'm just going to arbitrarily select something for it to do, because all of these are basically perfect. I don't really know. Oh, canola oil. Canola oil definitely needs some help. That's an easy thing to do. Do we have enough canola? Where are we growing canola? Is this it? Is that it? Okay. Well, I'll tell you what we can definitely do is we can definitely plant some more canola. I haven't even thought about planting in... Oh, it's been a long time. Many, 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 many episodes. So we know that's going to help solve a problem there. Once again, they brought the materials in like 0.3 seconds, and now it just takes time to build. But man, I'm getting kind of excited about this. I have to figure out what I'm going to do with the final monument, and you guys have a lot of opinions about it, and I don't want to disappoint people. But we are going to have to find a compromise. So, let's see. It's a 7x7, the Wonder of Fire. We'll go ahead and unlock it, but the only way to build one of these and, reach all the beavers is going to be to put it here, which, doesn't really seem to be a tremendously popular opinion. But putting it over here is going to mean that it doesn't reach all of the beavers up on the cliff face. If I put it here, I think people still want to see it elevated because, there you go, very nice. They want to see it elevated because, honestly, it just looks cool that way. So if I were to do that, and then, of course, we have our 2x1 overhangs everywhere. I'll use my metal platforms because I can. And then I pop this guy here. Then, wait, why can't I hold all these limes? Okay, that's an old meme. These corner pieces are going to have to be replaced with 3x3s because this wonder is different. The other ones have the cutouts in the corners, but this is a full 7x7. Which, no reason to complain about that. But I will need to do this bit here. Okay, that actually looks fine. All right, and then the orientation. I guess this way probably makes the most sense because that way would be. We'll just do that. So it is kind of floating. It's not obscenely tall, but I do think that is probably fine. It sufficiently qualifies as spindly, and it gives us an opportunity to, have tube-ways come out and do the tube-way things. If I did... Oh, no way. No way. That works? Alright, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to put a tube-way station on the end of this, so it can actually interface. That is hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. I can't believe that works. So, yeah, that's, I hope they could build this. I hope they can build this. I think that shouldn't have any issue getting built here, this here, this here. So as long as this bottom piece gets done, then I think we're going to be in business, folks. Wow. Okay, this is so fun. I can't believe this works. I honestly did not expect it to, but it seems like it's going to. All right. Get this two-way station built here. All right, and now they should be able to. Okay, let me take this off. They should be able to build this, no? Because there's nowhere for these guys to get to. Okay. All right, so I guess I'm just gonna have to put in a set of ladders here so they can actually, you know, start building some of this stuff. But once they get this piece in place, then they can get this piece in place, and then I could just have everything else all taken care of. I unfortunately cannot delete this piece of tubeway. But I'm imagining that now that this overhang is in place, they can build the rest by just walking out. I have to delete each of these path things manually. Get that out of here, get that out of here, get that out of here. I'll let them build the rest of this, and then I'm going to see if I can just put the Wonder on top of that. I hope so. That's going to be cool. Right, a little bit more here. Come on. One more piece. I know you can do it. Wow, we have almost 400 bots. I got 43 if I'm not doing anything. Okay. Let's put this in again. And they can reach it, so I suppose... Oh, lag. I suppose this is as good of... Oh, look at this just mess of robot bodies here. It's as good of a spot as any to go ahead and say, I guess it's about time to end this episode. Gasp! It's only 42 minutes in. Well, you know, I don't want to make you sit here and watch stuff that you don't need to be watching, so we'll go ahead and let them start bringing in all these materials, and we'll see how much they can get accomplished while we're doing our end-of-episode stuff. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys supporting this series, watching the videos, giving some really helpful ideas, positive feedback, constructive feedback, all of it, always welcome. And I am really excited to see this coming together. Look at all these, look at all these bots working on this thing, man. You probably can't see too much because of the text on the screen, but you already know. Beard boosters. All of your contributions make it possible to keep doing these videos every day. Well, now we got Roller Coaster Tycoon back in the mix, so it's only 6 of 7 days are beavers. But you get the idea. You make it possible to just enjoy playing the game, enjoy cultivating a community, and not worry about, you know, trying to sell stupid garbage nobody wants to buy or whatever. So I always appreciate you guys. You know it, but I say it every time because it bears repeating. Whatever you're doing with the rest of your day, please stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you back in this series on Friday, and we'll see you back tomorrow for more of the Update 7 Folktales playthrough. Still trying to figure out what I'm doing on Wednesday. We'll see. But I will see you in the next video. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.